Okay, here's number 1 from your homework. So this is a 30, 60, 90. The first thing I'm going to do is to write in this missing angle, which I know is 30 degrees because this one is 60. So all three of them add to 180. Next, I'm going to use my shortcut for 30, 60, 90 triangles. We had said that opposite of the 30 degree, we're going to say that that's T. Opposite of 60 degrees is T square root of 3, and then opposite of 90 is 2T. Okay, so I'm just putting in my shortcut, and from there I'm going to figure out what side is going to help me find my T value. So since over here, I don't know either variable, that's not going to help me find T. Same thing for up on top. I don't know X or T, so I'm not going to be able to solve anything there. But here, I know that 2T equals 4. So that's going to allow me to solve for T. So 2T equals 4. If I divide by 2, that means that T equals 2. So I'm just going to take this 2 and plug it in here. So now I have y equals 2, and if I plug it in right over here, I have x equals 2 square root of 3. And there's my answers. Okay, here's number 3 from your homework. I'm going to start by putting in this missing angle, which is 60 degrees, and then I'm going to label each side. So opposite of 30 is T, opposite of 60 is T square root of 3, and opposite of my 90-degree angle is 2T. And again, we're going to start with the side that's going to help me solve for T. The only one I have information on is this one over here. So that's what I'm going to use to solve for T. And I'm going to do that down here at the bottom. 2T equals 2 square root of 6. I'm trying to solve for T, so I'm going to divide by 2. And T equals 2 divided by 2 here. Those simplify. Remember, you can't divide the square root of 6 with the 2 because it's inside the square root. So this is just square root of 6. So this is my T value. So I'm going to take this and put it wherever I have a T in each side. So A equals square root of 6 times the square root of 3. That's from here. And then that's the T value. So A equals the square root of 18. You can write this as a decimal or you can simplify it. If you guys remember, we can break it up with 9 and 2. So this is 3 square root of 2. So either answer is fine. This one is better, this one here, but that's fine. And then if I plug in here, we get B equals the square root of 6. So these are my two answers here. And you could also put them as decimals. Okay, so here's number 12. I set everything up. I'm going to put in this missing angle, which is 30 degrees. And then I'm going to label each side. Opposite of 30 is T. Opposite of 60 is T square root of 3. And opposite of 90 is 2T. That's the shortcut we learned in class today. So I start by labeling each one. And then I'm going to start with whichever side gives me information. Like this one gives me 4 square root of 3. So that's the side that's going to help me solve for T. So T square root of 3 equals 4 square root of 3. We're trying to solve for T. We're trying to get it by itself. So I'm going to divide by square root of 3. And we get T equals, and over here on the right side, square root of 3 divided by square root of 3, those are just 1. So those cancel out, and I get T equals 4. And I'm going to take that 4 and put it wherever I have a T on my two sides. So y equals 4, and x equals 2 times 4 if we put in t, so that's 8. And there's my two answers. Okay, here's number 10. We have a 30-degree, and I'm going to fill in the missing angle, which is 60. And I'm going to label each side from there. Opposite of 30 is t. Opposite of 60 is t square root of 3. And opposite of 90 is 2t. Okay, so far if you've been watching the video, the steps are the same. Put in the missing angle, I put in 60, and then just go through and label each side using your shortcut, which we copied onto our card today. Next, I'm going to start with the side that actually gives me some information, which is this side over here. We use that to solve for t. So it's actually already solved for. T is already by itself. So I just have to take this and plug it in wherever I have a t. So for example, for x, it's 2 times t. That's my t value. And then we're just going to multiply. So the 2 with the 2 is x equals, and if it helps you put a 1 on the bottom of that, 4 square root of 3 over 3. So that's my x value. These cannot be simplified and canceled out because the top one has the square root on it, so you can't cancel those out. So it's just the 4 square root of 3 over 3. Okay, and then for my y value, I'm going to plug in, again, my t over here. So that is 2 square root of 3 over 3. That's my t value times the square root of 3. If it helps, put a 1 on the bottom. This is solving for y. So we multiply top with top, bottom with bottom. So y equals, and when you multiply these, the square root part is being multiplied with the square root part only. So that's 2 square root of 9 over 3. And the square root of 9, you guys should know, is a nice, easy, perfect square. Give myself some room. So that's 2 times 3. That's the square root of 9 over 3. This is 6 over 3, so y equals 2. Okay, so there's our second answer. And then the other one earlier, I believe, was 4 square root of 3 over 3. So there's the other answer there. Okay, here's the last one. This is number 13. So the steps we've done so far: fill in the missing angle. This is 30 degrees. Label your sides. Opposite of 30 is t. Opposite of 60, t square root of 3. Opposite of 90 is 2t. Then we're going to start by solving for t on whatever side is given, which is this one right here. So I have square root of 5 equals 2t. We're solving for t, getting t by itself, so I'm going to divide by 2. So t equals square root of 5 over 2. We want these as exact answers, so we're not going to put that in our calculator. We're going to leave it the way it is. So then this t value is going to go here and here to get x and y. So y equals square root of 5 over 2. And then x equals square root of 5 over 2 times the square root of 3. Then put a 1 on the bottom there. I need some more room, so I'm just going to erase some of this other stuff. So we're moving here. So that's the square root of 15 over 2, and that's my x value. And again, we want exact answers, so we're going to leave them like that. We're not going to put them in our calculator.